So behind the followers and the brand deals and the luxury lifestyle, there is a dark side to influencer culture that our next guest explores in her new novel.
It's been described as a wacky, scary, and fun thriller called Julie Chan is Dead. And we're excited to have author Liann Zhang on the show with us to talk all about it. Welcome to the show, Liann.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so Liann, the plot for your book is juicy. So a woman assumes the identity of her dead influencer twin sister and then discovers this dark underbelly of the social media world. So what inspired you to tackle, in a way, influencer culture?
Yeah, I was actually a skinfluencer myself back in high school. I had like awful cystic acne, so I started to review product, and for some reason people just followed me, even though I was literally a teenager. So I kind of got a behind the scenes peek of everything, kind of saw the dynamics between the different people there. And
like you would go to events sort of thing,
yes,
and get to know sort of the inside, like the way people acted towards each other?
Yeah, but not only that, it's like within the app, like you're on the feed, it's a perfect curated version of yourself, and a click away in the chats, you get to see kind of all that leak out, the pettiness, the envy, the privilege, it's all there. So I knew there's something juicy there.
There definitely is. So when you think back to your own days as an influencer, what do you think was the most bizarre aspect of your life at that time?
I think definitely the fact that I was literally like 15, 16 years old, contacted by these like big companies. They never asked for my age or anything. They're always just like, what's your address? We'll send you something. And I don't think they ever knew how young I was and like who they were really interacting with, you know? It was kind of behind the, like, there's like mask almost.
And what did your family think of that at this time?
They loved it because my mom likes free stuff. So, you know, they were like, keep it coming. Yeah.
Okay, so this book is, it's designed to sort of keep you on the edge of your seat. So why did you feel like the thriller genre felt right for this story about influencers?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a duplicitous nature to social media. There's like the self you present on screen and then the real self that's behind the camera and everything. So that two world, that divide, naturally kind of gives rise to like secrets and like identity, and all that is like so necessary for a thriller. And just being a part of the community, I felt myself like shedding parts of myself and like my values in order to like gain followers. So I think there's an exploration of watching this main character, Julie, kind of become a different person, and there's a curiosity of like, who will she become by the end of the novel that really keeps people going.
You also explored the idea of race in influencer culture as well. And so what is it that you wanted to contribute to that part of the conversation that I don't think a lot of people think about until you bring it up?
Yeah, I mean, being in the community, I do really recognize that there was a certain amount of privilege, especially in like the beauty space. Like you had to own multiple items to even review about them to start out with. Like if you have like one face wash and one moisturizer, you really can't start a blog. But for me, you know, I was a teenager, I didn't pay rent or anything. So any money I made from my part-time job, I could buy cosmetics. But for most people, they can't afford to do that. Has a lot of excess involved. So for that reason, I found a lot of the people that started to spring up were a certain amount of, you know, had a certain amount of privilege and were a part of certain groups, like a lot of white women, you know, in that type of space. So I just kind of felt that discrepancy, and I knew it's something that I had to tackle if I was going to write a book about this.
So recently there's been a lot of backlash, I feel like we talk about on the show sometimes, against, towards influencers, the lavish lifestyles that they're often parading online. Do you think that we're starting to see the tides change when it comes to people's appetite for this type of content?
I mean, I feel like there's just so much oversaturation. Like you're going on your apps and you're kind of being bopped over the head over and over by these influencers. So everybody's just kind of getting tired of it. I think they'll continue to go on, maybe in a different form, but especially in this economic time when most people are struggling to make rent or to buy groceries, it's not always tasteful to go online and see, you know, this really ultra-rich person jet off to Bali and have all these luxuries. It kind of feels not great. Yeah. So I feel like there definitely might be a changing tide there.
Yeah.
You know, here's the funny part of this whole conversation. You actually put a TikTok out to promote your novel, and then it goes viral. So like hundreds of thousands of likes, over 6 million views for this book, which is super meta considering like the theme of your novel and influencer culture as well. So what was that like to go viral for your book online about influencer culture?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So it was on TikTok. It was this trend. Of course, I'm chronically online, so I'm like constantly seeing these trends when they first pop up. And this is a picture of it. Basically, you say, "You're so funny," and then you add like a traumatic sentence or two about your childhood. This kind of describes the twins in my story of how they were separated. One becomes an influencer, the other one has nothing, and then the influencer kind of ignores the twin. And I posted this like at midnight. I went to bed. I woke up, hundreds of thousands of views, and by the end of the day, millions of views. So I was shocked. But like the worst part was like some people started to think that Julie Chan was like a real person, like a real twin. Yeah, and they started to like go, they would Google Julie Chan on TikTok and like go onto these girls' pages that looked like my twin, AKA just Asian. And then, they would start like commenting, like, "Speak to your twin," like, "What's up with your twin?" And like being just annoying to these people. And it really just grew its own legs. Like from a stupid photo, it became this whole thing. So it kind of reflects the book's themes in that way. Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of brings us to the idea of book talk, which is like TikTok, not book talk. It's promoting books online. So there's been a lot of division online when it comes to book talk. Some people claim that it only sort of platforms a limited, lesser form of literature, doesn't serve authors well. What do you think about that?
You know, as someone that benefited TikTok and like all that book talk stuff, I definitely understand, because a lot of the times you see the ones that go viral, it's like a lot of romance book, a lot of smutty books that are like easy to digest and pop. And so I understand why there's that conception. At the same time, I think it's kind of opened a gateway to having people buy books and like consume books. Like you might start off with these book talk books, but it might, you know, then turn into something else. Like it might, as long as it encourages people to like look away from their phone and like go to a bookstore and buy a book, I think it's a positive overall.
People are reading. What is people mad about?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we want to tell everybody your book has already been ordered for a second reprint before its publication date because the demand is so high. So listen, what are your hopes for this book? That's great.
I know, it's insane to see all of the public reception. I think it is partly because of book talk and it going viral. I think that had to do with it. But it's just insane to see, and I'm so grateful to like Google myself and like see my own self on the internet, and it's not something else. It's just amazing, but I really just hope that readers are able to enjoy the book, to like want to flip another page instead of picking up their phone. Like that would be such a gift for me, so I'm just so excited.
Congratulations, Liann, you're doing
Thank
the
you.
thing. Congratulations. Let's remind everybody, it is called Julie Chan is Dead. You can buy it in bookstores everywhere now. Clearly, it's going to go like hotcakes. To the lucky members of this studio audience, what do you get reading tonight? You're going home with your copy today.
Hey, you, come a bit closer. We've got so many more must-see interviews, spicy debates, lifestyle tips, and pop culture moments. So subscribe to our channel by tapping the logo below and don't miss out.